Gary Willard of Worthing in charge, and if you're high on the drug called Premier League football, well, you probably had some withdrawal symptoms the last 10 days, but it's back, and Newcastle in those familiar black and white stripes, playing from the right in a match which last season finished 4-3 in their favour. Dwight Yorke scored a hat-trick for Aston Villa and had one disallowed. That's Collymore, his attacking partner this afternoon, conceding an early free kick. Pistone, the Italian, might reflect on the fact that their league season, doesn't start until next weekend, so food for thought there. Forward by Pearce. That's a free kick. Ian Rush was fouled by Ugo Ehiogu. Looks very much as though Rush is going to be the lone raider and Gillespie's going to play slightly off him. Rob Lee, the captain, on for the square pass here. Pearce. That was Lee. And a long spell of Newcastle possession. Stephen Watson's up on the right. And Gillespie went right. Rush is moving towards the near post now. But the pass or the cross was lofted beyond him. Charles. Nice turn by Draper. And Gibbon forced to turn that round. It was Mark Draper, who hasn't scored in the Premiership for nearly 2 years, and in fact was sent off here in the game last season, so he didn't give himself too much chance of scoring that day. But that was a good effort. Corner to Villa. Ehiogu is forward, number 5. So is Scimeca, number 20. Oh, and Scimeca's there with the header. Scimeca chosen to play as one of the back three for Villa today, and he and Ehiogu quite a handful on these set plays. Half a touch for Watson. Then a better one, a much better one. Did well. Oh, and Albert was in a good position to meet that. It's good battling by Steve Watson. He gets the better of 2 Villa players, leaves them in his wake, and it's a good ball back. Albert, even though it was his left foot, caught it somewhat horribly. Gillespie. Oh, that's a good turn. Lee to his right. Rush coming into the centre now. And just scrambled out for the corner by Gareth Southgate. Good turn by Keith Gillespie here. And Ian Rush was waiting, just in case. Now for the corner, Albert is up. Stuart Pearce is up. So is Watson. And the header was by Taylor. Lee. Gets it back from Kitzbauer. Albert is still forward. Ian Rush is there. And it's come back to Beresford for the shot. Oh, it's a goal! It's a goal by John Beresford again! What a spell this man's having. Beresford, who'd only ever scored twice for Newcastle in his career until he got 2 in the European match, now volleys a tremendous goal in the Premiership after 12 minutes. And didn't he strike it beautifully? Bosnich, well, he puts his right arm up, but it's already in the roof of the net. Oh, helped on nicely by Albert to Lee, and there's room in front of the captain here. He's also got Watson wide. And Beresford's there again, and so was Gillespie, and they have a corner. Pearce is up, and Albert is up for the corner. Watson was up too. Albert's there, up the bar. Ian Rush tries to retrieve. Gillespie. 3 Villa defenders against 1 Newcastle player there. And ultimately, Villa find room to breathe. It's a good header that by Collymore. This is Draper, and he's got Taylor coming up to the right. Powerful runner from midfield. Here's Taylor. Back to Gary Charles. And Villa well stopped in the middle here. They can get the ball in. It's a goal kick. Well, it could have been 2-0 here. The first header through the defenders, and Albert was so close to the goal, it came back off the bar. Here's Gary Charles. That's Collymore. Well worth the effort. And perfectly able to produce the unexpected, Stan Collymore. In fact, sometimes the argument goes his colleagues don't know what he's going to do, but he only had one thing in mind here. This was a measured right foot volley that was dipping. Charles. Oh, that's a good little touch by Dwight Yorke, and Collymore got away from Watson initially. Now he's got Staunton in support. A rasping left footer from Steve Staunton, and Villa players held their heads there because from where they were down on the pitch it looked mighty close. We'll see how close. Oh, golly, it is. Charles. Draper. Perhaps a sign that Villa are coming into it a bit more. Collymore. Well, that was David Batty and Stan Collymore. There was definite holding in the first place by Batty. There was reaction from Collymore, then another response from Batty, and a scrap ensued, which the referee is now going to deal with by producing the yellow card. Certainly to Stan Collymore. Now the question is it to Batty as well? Yes, it is. Well, I think if you put one, you've got to buck the other, really, despite the whistles. So it's a free kick to Aston Villa. And it's in a dangerous zone, this. Ehiogu's climbing up the back. Oh, where was that supposed to go? Didn't head it for goal, or directed to a colleague. And now Gillespie is on his own. No, he's not on his own. He's got support from Rob Lee, who's made a fantastic run inside him. Gillespie went alone, now rushes in support. It's gone behind him, and this is gets fire, and that's a good save by Bosnich. Oh, this is thrilling football from Newcastle. From a defensive position and a misplaced header in the other penalty area by Ehiogu, they were suddenly in full flow. That's Gillespie. Didn't see Lee earlier, pity about that. Saw Rush coming in and put it behind him. Ketsbaia had the best effort. Bosnich turned it away. Corner. Albert is up. Away by Staunton. You just can't afford to concede possession, it seems, even in Newcastle's own penalty area, which is where that all came from. Rush. It might come now. Batty's up with him. It is Batty. Oh, and Rush! Oh, no! Well, Ian Rush, David Batty, and particularly Mark Bosnich have a lot to reflect on there. This is Batty in a forward position. The goalkeeper has to kick it, but look where he puts it, straight to Ian Rush of all people, who then plays it wide. But here's Ketsbaia for Newcastle. And here's Beresford again. Oh, and Gary Charles with the final tackle, I think. typical Stuart Pearce. Thunderous tackle, and the half ends with Newcastle in the ascendancy. John Beresford the scorer. Ian Rush could have made it 2, but as for Aston Villa, well, restricted to 2 long-range efforts. They've never beaten Newcastle in a Premiership match in 8 attempts, and for the moment this one is going against them as well. 1-0 at half-time. "71 years they've been waiting for the Championship at Newcastle United, but Aston Villa know a thing or two about long waits as well. I remember they went many years before they won it under Ron Saunders in 1981. But early days in this new Premiership season. Offside against Ian Rush. Aston Villa will point to 1 or 2 League Cups, of course, in recent years. And they'll be finding out their opponents in Europe next week when that draw is made for the UEFA Cup. For the moment, it's all about league business, and Villa were second best in the first half. And Newcastle also will be hoping to avoid any mishaps with the match in Croatia on Wednesday next. And they lead 2-1 in that qualifying tie for the Champions League with all its bountiful riches. But they would go into the UEFA Cup if they were to lose that, by the way. So Europe beckons both teams, come what may. Scimeca. And again, got it back off Taylor. Nice play, Draper. Could be on for Aston Villa here. Oh, and Dwight Yorke. Oh, their best move by a long way. What a good combination. But Dwight Yorke denied at the end by the sheer presence, I think, of a couple of defenders. Draper gets it through to him. Yorke actually did take it early, but he steered it, unusually for him, wide of the post. Has to go down as a miss. Lee's got it now. This is Watson. Beresford's coming in. That's Rush! He had Beresford coming in behind him, Ian Rush, but didn't need the call because he got to Watson's cross first. And that debut goal still eludes him. Good save by Bosnich. And Staunton continues. And again, and that's... Now then. This is David Batty. And is he going to be off? He's got to go. He's got to go with the red card. It's the second offence by David Batty. Impetuous, I think, is the word more than anything else. And for 2 offences deemed bookable, England's David Batty is sent off, and Newcastle are down to 10 men. Quite why he had to dive in exactly like that is another matter. He obviously thought he could make the ball initially, but he knew on the expression on his face, once he'd missed the ball and got Staunton, he knew he had to go. In fact, Batty was walking before they showed the card. Now, they've had to make a tactical change. Warren Barton has come on, Ketsvaya has gone off. It's a free kick to Aston Villa. Now, this may change the complexion of the match. There are boos all around the ground. I think technically the referee had little choice. But what Kenny Dalglish has done, he's brought on Warren Barton to stiffen things up, with Batty having gone, and put him in midfield and taken off Ketsvaya. So he had a yellow card as well, Ketsvaya, by the way. Staunton. Scimeca. Taylor. Well, there's opportunity here for Aston Villa now. And look at this. It's Dwight Yorke. Good chance. Good save. Staunton. Yorke still in there. And slid away by Pearce for the corner. Shea given a good stop from Dwight Yorke. Ehiogu couldn't quite reach that. Draper might. Well, I must say, the home crowd have turned very antagonistic, but here it would have been worse for them if Dwight Yorke had taken his second really good chance. A bit close to the goalkeeper, but he gets the credit Shay given. Well, here comes some activity, to say the least, on the Villa subs bench. How about putting 3 new ones on? Coming on, Joachim, Wright and Fernando Nelson. Going off, Grayson, Scimeca and Staunton, I think. Now I'll try and explain the revised formation here on Aston Villa's part, because Julian Joachim is going to go and play on the right-hand side of the attack to use his pace. Number 12, he's over on the far side of the pitch, almost as a right winger. And little Alan Wright will play as a left-sided attacker, and Fernando Nelson more or less at left back. And it's Yorke. Good block. And it was held by Gibbon. But the credit really there, not so much the goalkeeper perhaps as Steve Watson, who got the block in. Charles. Southgate comes forward in stoppage time for Aston Villa. Right. This is Nelson. Oh, Taylor didn't make it. Here's Joachim. Southgate. Blocked by Gillespie. Well, that's left Taylor hobbling a bit, but Villa still have a chance. It's Draper. Taylor's in there again. And he's still there, and he's found Nelson. Oh, Collymore's about to run onto that, and there's some desperate defending by Newcastle in the time the referee is having to add on. Here's Draper. Collymore's flick on. Joachim, no, it's gone out. Starting to look like 3 defeats for Brian Little and Aston Villa. Back to Beresford. Now Lee. Beresford again. Barton again. Newcastle shirt complaining about that from Stuart Pearce. Well, when we get a clock on the stand that's properly ratified, we'll all be able to join in the mystery about stoppage time. Gary Willard is into his 4th minute. But there it is. It's maximum league points for Newcastle so far. It's 3 defeats in a row for Aston Villa, even though they played against 10 men. Rob Lee, the pick of the bunch for Newcastle, in my view, led them really well. And the referee, who was talking there to Southgate at the end, but he sent off David Batty for 2 yellow card offences, which meant that Newcastle played for 37 minutes, a man short. But the goal earlier in the game by Beresford was enough. Aston Villa, with Dwight Yorke slightly off key there with the 2 chances, are still looking for their first goal of the season. It's Newcastle 1, Villa 0.
The game has to cope with controversies. David Batty got sent off. What did you make of it?
Well, maybe the tackle deserved the yellow card, but I mean the reason why he sent off was the first yellow card. And I thought that was nonsense, the yellow card then. I mean, it's... But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. They seem to think that maybe it's everything that happens is deserving of a yellow card, and it gives its problems later on.
Every striker loves scoring goal, and England seemed to go hand in glove. Was that a consideration when you came here?
Yeah, as I say, I mean, make no mistake, when I considered leaving Forest. Obviously, I've been there a number of years. It was a big wrench for me, but the bottom line, when Newcastle threw their hat in the ring, it was a chance for me to prove myself again, you know, at a big club.
Enjoying it?
I think it's brilliant at the moment, to be quite honest with you, but as I said before, I'll look back after 2 or 3 years and say, yes, it's been a success, or no, it hasn't. I know certainly I'll do everything in my power to make it a success.
Go see the film. The game was fast and furious. Did you feel that you had any opportunities to score a goal?
I think maybe once in the first half I had sort of half chance really, and second half I had a header really, but I think the most important thing is that the team won, and you know, I was really happy that the team won, and I'm quite happy with my performance.
Things have happened pretty. How does one prepare for a game like that?
Well, I mean, we just take stock now. We have a long journey home, which, you know, sees you talking amongst yourselves. The staff talk to themselves, the players talk to themselves, and then we start preparing from Monday. In all fairness, today wasn't too bad. We produced some good player times. When they went down to 10 men, you know, sometimes that can work against you. They got an extra defensive-minded player on, got behind the ball, and got away with things, so credit to them. But we weren't too far away today, so it won't be hard to prepare for Wednesday. But in all fairness, what we need is you know, something from Wednesday's game to give us the necessary